Imagine there are 5,000 sealed envelopes sitting in front of you. Inside each one is the future performance of a different company over the next 30 years. One of them will be the biggest winner. Your job? Pick it. Which one are you choosing? The truth is, you don't know. Neither do I. But what if you didn't have to choose? What if, instead of trying to pick the one winning envelope, you could own a small piece of thousands of them? That's where things get interesting. In the last episode, we talked about how to start investing without feeling overwhelmed. But once you open that investment account, there's another question waiting for you. Okay, what the hell am I supposed to buy? Fair question, and that's exactly what we're going to answer today. Because this is where investing can suddenly feel complicated again. You open your account, and there they are. Thousands of investments staring back at you. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and about 1,000 companies you've never heard of. So your brain starts doing what brains do. What if I pick the wrong one? What if I buy something and it crashes? What if I miss the next Nvidia? What if I buy Nvidia right before the next Nvidia comes along? And suddenly, you're right back where you started. Overwhelmed. So instead of making one imperfect decision, you make no decision at all. But here's the thing. You don't have to find the next Apple. You don't have to find the next Amazon. And you definitely don't need to sit in front of 6 computer monitors staring at stock charts all day. There's a much simpler way. It's called an ETF. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. I know, it sounds like something invented specifically to make investing more confusing. But the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of an ETF like a basket. Instead of buying one individual investment, you're buying one fund that can hold a collection of investments inside it. Those investments could be stocks, bonds, or other assets. And depending on the ETF, that basket might hold a handful of investments, or hundreds, or even thousands. For example, a broad market ETF can give you exposure to hundreds or even thousands of companies with a single investment. So instead of trying to decide whether Apple will outperform Microsoft, or whether today's biggest company will still be on top 20 years from now, you can own small pieces of many companies. You're not trying to guess which one becomes the biggest winner. You're giving yourself exposure to many potential winners. And that's a very different way of investing. Let's say you put all of your investment money into one company. If that company does incredibly well, great, you're probably feeling pretty smart. But if something goes wrong, a bad product, a new competitor, poor management, an entire industry changes, suddenly, your entire investment depends on what happens to that one company. Now imagine instead that you own hundreds of companies through a broadly diversified ETF. Some might have an incredible year, some might struggle, some may eventually disappear completely. But one struggling company doesn't necessarily determine what happens to your entire portfolio. That's called diversification. And diversification doesn't mean you can't lose money. You absolutely can. ETFs go down. Markets crash. Nothing about investing comes with a guarantee. But diversification can help reduce the risk of having your financial future depend on the success or failure of one single company. Instead of making one giant bet, you're spreading your risk. Now, this doesn't mean you should open your investment account, type ETF into the search bar, close your eyes, and click Buy. Because not all ETFs are the same. Some ETFs track hundreds of the largest companies in America. Some track nearly the entire US stock market. Some invest in international companies. Some focus on bonds. Others focus on dividends. Technology, healthcare, energy, and almost any industry you can think of. There are even ETFs built around extremely specific themes and trends. Some ETFs are broadly diversified. Others can be concentrated in a small group of companies or a single industry. So, just because something has ETF attached to its name doesn't automatically make it diversified. And it definitely doesn't automatically make it a good investment. An ETF is simply the vehicle. you still need to understand what's inside it. So now you're probably thinking, okay, I understand ETFs, but which one should I buy? And this is where I'm going to disappoint you. I'm not going to give you a ticker symbol and tell you to go buy it. Because the right investment depends on you, your goals, your timeline, and how much risk you're comfortable taking. But if you're a beginner, there are a few questions worth asking. First, what does this ETF actually own? Second, how diversified is it? Third, what does it cost? You'll probably see something called an expense ratio. That's simply the annual fee the fund charges to manage your money. The lower that fee, the more of your money stays invested and working for you. And finally, does this ETF actually fit the reason you're investing in the first place? You don't need to find the perfect ETF. You need to understand what you own and why you own it. Because one of the easiest mistakes to make is chasing whatever performed best last year. By the time everyone is talking about the hottest investment, you may already be late to the party. Successful long-term investing is rarely about finding the most exciting thing. It's about finding a strategy you understand and can stick with when the market is going up and when it's going down. So, let's go back to those 5,000 envelopes. Every envelope represents a different company, and somewhere in that pile is the company that will become the biggest winner over the next 30 years. Can you pick it today? Maybe, but can you do it consistently? That's a very different question. You don't have to know which envelope holds the biggest winner. You don't have to predict the future. With a broadly diversified ETF, you can own a piece of many of the companies competing to build it. You still need a plan. You still need consistency. And you still need to understand what you own. Because successful investing isn't about predicting the future, it's about participating in it. And sometimes, the best investment decision isn't the complicated one. It's the one that's simple enough to understand and simple enough to stick with. Your future isn't built by one giant choice. It's built by thousands of tiny ones. One decision at a time, one day at a time, one habit at a time. So before you make your next financial decision, check your compass. If you found value in this video, subscribe. And remember, the compass doesn't choose the path, you do. I'll see you in the next one.